Hey everybody. Today I am out in the desert in the Fremont Valley, just northeast of Jawbone Canyon. And I'm at a small community called Cantil. There are still some people who do live in Cantil, but for the most part it's abandoned. It was never an incorporated city. It had a post office. I don't know what the population ever was, if it was ever even listed, but there used to be quite a few people who lived here, and there were housing for laborers. And I'm actually standing on the loading chute for Cantil, where they used to load the agricultural products that came out of here, mostly alfalfa. Probably all alfalfa. I've never noticed any other crops out here. But until 1989, there was a lot of alfalfa grown out here. Cantil had an agreement with the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, who control the Los Angeles Aqueduct. That agreement began in or around 1909, and they were able to use the water from the Los Angeles Aqueduct for their drinking water and to irrigate their crops. And at one time, there were thousands of acres of alfalfa grown out here. In 1989, the DWP did not renew the contract with Cantil, and they stopped the water from the aqueduct being used here, and all those crops were abandoned. All those jobs were lost. That's a shame, but it is what it is. Los Angeles is a thirsty town, needs all the water they can get, I guess. But anyway, that said, Cantil's been abandoned for quite a while. There are a few people still live here. Drive around a little bit and see what's out there. I've never poked around Cantil at all. I've driven by it many times. It's right next to the Lone Pine Branch. So poke around a little bit and see if there's anything interesting there. And a little bit better shot of all that land from here all the way over to Highway 14, which is about maybe 4 or 5 miles from here, was all alfalfa. I don't know if any of you saw the piece I did on the solar arrays out here, the solar farms, but everywhere where those solar farms are on this side of Highway 14 was all alfalfa. And it went from here out to about where that first line of trees out there is. It didn't go much beyond that. That is now the Honda road test facility. That was all alfalfa fields, thousands of acres of it. And we're standing down below the old loading chute, loading dock, whatever it would have been called, loading area. That's where I was shooting from just a minute ago. And this is the old Cantil siding. It is no longer tied to the main line at either end. That's looking east towards Randsburg, Cyril's out that way. And that is looking west towards Jawbone, Mojave. Another surprisingly cool and damp day. But anyway, this is the sighting at Cantil. I guess I should note at this time that we always refer to this as the Lone Pine Branch, but it was really not known as the Lone Pine Branch till later in its history. It was originally called the Owenyo Branch and was known as the Jawbone. And I actually have a history book on it, and the name of that book is Jawbone. But anyway, there were only 2 places along this line where there were water wells, and Cantil was one. Hiawee was the other. Hiawee is up north of Inyokern. But anyway, this is where the water tank stood at Cantil. It was used to water tenders for the steam engines that operated on this line until the 50s. and it was also used for some of the water for the community of Cantil for drinking water, but in conjunction with the aqueduct. And again, this is looking west toward Mojave. I'm here right across the street from the loading dock, and this is one of the abandoned places. This place it's not all that remote. I mean, California City is that way, about 10 miles. Mojave's about another 7 miles beyond that. Jawbone Canyon store is right over there. And that white pipeline along the mountains there is the Los Angeles Aqueduct. Comes down that hill and goes through Jawbone Canyon. I'm sorry, Jawbone Canyon store's that way. But the aqueduct runs pretty much right behind, runs right across the mouth of Jawbone Canyon and right behind the store itself. But anyway, on Cantil Road here, I've been diddling around here for about an hour, 45 minutes or so, something like that. And not one vehicle has gone by. It's not a place, I said people do still live here, but not very many. And this road doesn't really go anywhere. Red Rock Randsburg Road is over on the other side of the hill there. Cantil Road ties into it about a mile or so down there. It goes down there, goes across the tracks and ties into it. An old trailer house here, mobile home. It's nice and cool today, so the snakes, if they are around, probably aren't too active. So, but I'm still watching my yin yang. This is inside this place. A little croquet mallet there. Some fold-up chairs. Talking about the snakes, they do have the Mojave greens out here. They're a little more aggressive than the other species of rattlers. And even though it is cool, they might be a little lazier today. They might be too lazy to rattle and warn me that they're around. I'm not afraid of snakes, but I don't like them. And I certainly don't want to run nose to nose with one or step on one that's trying to get warm in a bush or something. It's like an old storage shed or work shed or something here. Inside the mobile home, nothing in there worth going and looking at. Everything's been stripped. Still got the stainless steel sink. Another, this looks like this might have been a where they kept animals or something. This doesn't, yeah, I'm sure that's what this was. Yeah, you can see the was probably a home at one time, but obviously had been turned into animal shelter. Whoop. Bird flew out of here, startled me. And we're just around the corner from the mobile home and those two abandoned buildings, and this is the Red Rock School. Like I said, I've driven by Cantil many times, but I have never driven down. This is Horton Road, and it runs north to south. That's looking south down towards the Honda test facility. But I've never driven down this road, so I've never noticed that there was a school here, the Red Rock School. Obviously, I would imagine an elementary school for Cantil and the surrounding areas back when there were still people here with kids. I'm sure they all go to Mojave now. I don't think California City has built a high school yet either. I know that when I was in school, all the kids from Cal City went to Mojave. This is the not a very big school, but I'm sure there weren't very many kids out here. And that is, it might have been the schoolmaster's house or the superintendent's office or something, who knows. But hey, an actual car with a dirt bike on it, a little kid's dirt bike. Somebody's gonna go have fun. It should be in school, but hey, comes to dirt bikes, you gotta make exceptions. But anyway, an old house there, a building. It's got a nice porch on it, so I don't know if that was the office or what, but it is just as abandoned as almost everything else in Cantil. A little further down into Cantil, where some of the other places are, there's not like a place where there's a bunch of houses in one place, but a couple of these old buildings here, a place over there. But the one thing that caught my attention was that piece of machinery right there. That's part of the old alfalfa business out here. It's part of something they'd buck hay with, loaded up onto trucks maybe. But just sitting out there, rusted and ruined, and a reminder of what used to be out here, why this place even existed. We are just a little south of Cantil now, and behind that levee and those trees is the Honda road test facility. I'm not sure when it was built. It seems like it was in the early 90s, but I was doing some research on the area, and this popped up, and it said that Honda put it up for sale in 2010. No one bought it, and they ended up in 2015 announcing they were going to refurbish the facilities and resume testing. When I was up at Nerelia Road a while ago, the Honda security guard came by in her little car and said hi to me. But anyway, we are at the intersection of Muncie and Horton Road. And that place right there, nice little place at one time, but all abandoned. You know, and that was a nice place, fireplace and all that. That was definitely somebody's pride and joy. And when the economy of the area fell apart, obviously, so did their dreams. You can see the roof, that composite roof back there that looks new. That's on a nice new looking house. Maybe it's the people who owned this house originally and they just went and built a better one. That house there is occupied, but those houses over there, even though that one looks really nice, appears to be abandoned too. Drove out here down this pole line dirt road to this place out here. This is abandoned completely, and this was a nice hacienda. This wasn't some little wooden batten structure. This was a very nice place. It may have been a part of the water system, but yeah, that's probably what that was. I was thinking it might have been a silo, but there's a garage right there, or I don't know if that's a collapsed building or if it's just a bunch of junk that was piled up there. But look at this place. Wow, this was a really nice place at one time. What a shame. What a shame. Wow. Little turntable. Man, this place is stripped. Light fixtures, everything in it that was ever here is gone. Looks like this was probably maybe a bedroom or something at one time. Beautiful porch and stonework. Double doors, big old beautiful fireplace. Somebody invested a lot of time and money. Look at hardwood floors. Somebody's come and pulled some of it up. And probably another bedroom. Bathtub and shower. It's like the place for animals to be kept. Upper floor's leaking. It's pretty hard rain out here last night. More hardwood floors. Remote control. I don't know if this was a bedroom or... Nah, probably not. Not with the stairs right there. I am not going to go up those stairs. I'll exit there. But with all them stuff caving in, I'm definitely not going to go up there and fall through this floor and be out here injured with nobody around. Crying shame, man. There was a lot of money and love put into this place, and it's all just gone. What a shame. Back here a little further, I wanted to come and check this part of it out. I don't know if this may have been where the people who worked here stayed. Again, this was all surrounded, down towards those trees was all alfalfa. And so these may have been quarters for people who worked here. It may have been the original home. I'm sure this stuff was all probably homesteaded way back in the day. Yeah, this is a... It's left of an old door. Yeah. This was definitely a home. The kitchen there, and rooms, everything's gone pretty much, but Roof's just about to collapse. It's sagging pretty good, but it makes me wonder if this wasn't the original home on this place, or maybe some of the people who lived here built for their kids or their mother-in-law or something. Like old, that may have been for animals too, that back in the back there. Back off in there, the wood structures back there, definitely for horses or something. Wow. What a waste. What an absolute waste. One more place I wanted to hit while I was out here. We're at the intersection of Highway 14, Red Rock Randsburg Road, and Nerelia Road. That's Nerelia Road. It goes south down into Cal City. 14 goes south down into Mojave, north up through Red Rock Canyon, and up to its intersection with 395 near Inyo. This is Red Rock Randsburg Road looking east. It goes out, connects with Highway 14 just below Randsburg. Wow, it's a super busy road today. The trucks, you see, they're coming in from Trona, loaded with stuff. But the reason I wanted to stop here, you see the old signpost and light post there. This is the ruins of the Cantil restaurant and store. This was still open in the late 70s. After I graduated from high school, I went to work for an oil tool company in Bakersfield, and I had to come out to Kozo with one of the salesmen one time, and we stopped here and got a soda pop. If I remember right, the restaurant, they weren't serving food anymore, but they still had a little store there. I don't know when this place was built. I don't know when it was demolished. I just know that it was still open in the late 70s. That would have been 77 when I came out, 77 or early 78 when I came out here with a guy named Mike Dobbs. And that water tank was still standing well into the 80s, into the late 80s. It was their water tank that stood on a little pedestal right over there. But probably got blown off by the wind eventually. Nothing left but the foundation and the floor. Highway 14 back then was a 2-lane road. Piece of rail there for corner post, I guess. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. I have done some Googling and I haven't been able to find a picture of the Cantil store anywhere. But if I do come across one before I edit this, I'll stick it in there. But anyway, the ruins of the Cantil store at the intersection of Highway 14, Red Rock Randsburg Road, and Nerelia Road. Well, that'll pretty much do it for the walk around or drive around, as it were, of Cantil. Wasn't as much out here as I thought there'd be. I thought there'd be a lot more abandoned stuff. But as it turns out, in driving around, there are still actually quite a few people who live out here. Most of the dwellings out here are inhabited. I probably didn't run across any more than 3 or 4 places that actually didn't have people living in them. Some of them were in really rough shape, but there were still people living there. Some of them were really nice. Drove around a little bit trying to find there used to be a place out here behind me on the edge. The dry lake behind me is called Cone Dry Lake, and was named for the family that started mining salt and had other mining interests in this area back in the 1800s. But there was a place on the western edge of it where they used to stack the hay. It was a huge, enormous covered structure, and that's where they kept the baled hay, and they would truck it out of there. And but I didn't see any remnants of that. I know there was a big home out there too at one time. It may have been on the other side of the big tree line. I drove back in there, but there was no more access. You could only go up. They had a fence out there with no trespassing. And If something says no trespassing, I'm not going to trespass. I'm not going to violate that. They don't want people in there. That's their right. And I don't have any right to go in there just because I'm curious. But if there's no trespassing signs, it's game on. But anyhow, not much out here. Not much as I thought, like I said, but still a pretty interesting place, interesting history, kind of a sad history, but history nonetheless. And so I'm going to head on down the road, and we will see you all later.